Morning, this is Brian. Today is Thursday, October 17th, 2024, and I'm here at the Ellie Lane trailhead, Ellie Lane staging area off of California 67 in the greater Iron Mountain area, the Poway range here in San Diego County, between Poway and Ramona. My plan today is to get up to those two there, to the left. North Iron Mountain at 2,703 feet, and Mount Ellie at about 2,440 feet. And to get to this little, sometimes, quite hidden little parking area is if you're coming north on 67, like I am, coming from more southerly areas, when you get past the intersection of the Iron Mountain Trailhead at Poway Road and 67, you're going to pass through one small driveway, and at your second driveway, you're going to see this little unmarked turnoff with these eucalyptus trees, and you're going to bank an immediate right and another quick right to get into the parking lot. I've always wanted to come to the Ellie Lane Trailhead to start a hike here, and this is my chance to today. So this is what the little parking lot looks like, a lot smaller than the main Iron Mountain one. So I'm going to start heading up the Ellie Lane Trail, and I'm going to try to keep it quiet for the first few clips because of the fact that there are a lot of people along Ellie Lane that might still be asleep. I'm going to try to keep my voice down for the first few clips, and it's probably getting close to 7 already. And it looks like the top of the peak's going to be in the clouds, so unfortunately it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to point out a lot of views today. But this is the coolest day over the next few weeks. So I'm going to try to get up there, get up to that saddle, trying to find a use trail to get up to Mount Ellie, which should be on the back side of the saddle, and then find a narrow use trail getting up there. See how this goes today. Should be interesting. Alright, so I'm just following this barbed wire fence, which should be the Ellie Lane Trail. And here's some non-native botany here. African fern pine, which is not a true pine. Afrocarpus gracilior. It's related to the Podocarpus genus. It used to be known as Podocarpus gracilior. And these right here, these fleshy droop or berry looking things, are the so-called seed cones. These are not true fruits. This is a conifer, not a fruit-bearing tree, a cone-bearing tree. They don't look like cones. They look more like berries or drupes. But yeah, this is a conifer, and it is in the genus Afrocarpus, and it's a member of the Podocarpaceae. I point those out fairly frequently when I'm hiking, but a lot of times because start off in a residential area. But that's what the fruit-like seed cones look like. Up ahead, though, we do have something native. We got tall, our chaparral prickly pear right here, Opuntia auricola. One of those upright types of prickly pears. Then we got a curious little goat right here. Ooh, what do we got here? It's a bunch of goats and a dog. That's funny. That's pretty cool. I don't know. Disturb them too much. That's why. As I'm climbing up a little bit by little bit, I'm seeing over towards the hills I was hiking this time last week. Goat Peak should be off over that way a little bit. are climbing up into the, starting to get into the chaparral now. Started off in mostly coastal sage scrub. Of course, we have our indicator chaparral species. Probably be a constant companion on this hike. Common chamise, of course. Will be a common companion today. And it looks like we're going to have a lot of hoary leaf ceanothus. There's a lot of it along here. Here we are, Ceanothus crassifolius, ready crassifolius. Looks very sparse and looks very dehydrated. And the leaves are very well curled under, in other words, revolute. And that's an adaptation against the dry season. So yes, they look like they're very dehydrated. It's just a normal way of them adapting to their climate. Alright, so the trail is temporarily plateaued, but we have to get up to that saddle right up there. So we definitely got quite a bit of work to go just to get to the saddle. And then we can start looking for use trails. There's supposed to be a prominent feature near that saddle called Lunch Rock. And to find the use trail to Mount Ellie and North Iron Mountain, we're going to have to go a little bit past it. And when we're there, going right will take us to Mount Ellie, which will be my first goal. Going left will be North Iron Mountain. Now at the North Iron Mountain there is a Class 5 summit boulder. Now that I'm not experienced in Class 5 rock climbing, yeah, most likely omitting that. Probably need a good rope to get up to that. So looks like what we're going to do here is we're going to split off. That's the Wild Horse Trail. We're going to stay here on this trail here. So we're going to turn left. Trail sides are pretty well faded. Yeah, this is Table Rock. It's Table Rock, not Lunch Rock. For some reason I was thinking it was Lunch Rock. Table Rock. Actually a very faint sign for it. So I got to get up to that, and I think Table Rock might be that feature there. Might be that feature there. But near Table Rock is a use trail that'll take me up to North Iron Mountain. It looks like the cloud layer lifted just a little bit, so I probably won't get very panoramic views. I might get lucky and be able to see something. Mount Ellie appears to be just under the cloud deck as well. But could be a good sign. Yeah, I'll always pointing out North Iron Mountain while I'm hiking other peaks and panning out views. I really wanted to finally hike up to it. Like I said, I'm not a rock climber, so I will either scramble part way up or call it a non-climber summit at the base of the rock. So we'll see how this goes. There's a small private pond down there too. You'll notice that when you start hiking up the Ellie Lane Trail. I don't know if the Wild Horse Trail goes next to it, but I think it passes through a little eucalyptus grove, I believe. Yeah, it's very nice out here too. All right, well, see you on the next clip. So you climb up into this very thick and beautiful chaparral. Ooh, got ourselves a large leaf Quercus acutidens right here. This one's got some pretty big leaves. This is definitely a Quercus acutidens. Yeah, it's got a lot of acorns too. Very nice. Very, very nice. I've seen a couple scrub oaks already, but this one has huge leaves. Wow, what a beautiful scrub oak. Oh, it's got a lot of acorns on it too. I love it. I always mention how much I love scrub oaks. Well, shrubby oaks are just so rugged and beautiful. I love those shrubby oaks. All right. Now we're finally starting to climb up a bit more. It's not too bad. From what I understand, it's supposed to be rated moderate. I think we got our first sugar bush of the day coming up. Rus ovata. Small young one. Right here on the side of the trail. There's a lot of laurel sumac here. Kind of similar looking related shrub. Here's laurel sumac. Melosma laurina. There's a lot of that, especially at the start of this hike. When you first start breaking, well, when you first start breaking away from the residential area, you go through a patch of coastal sage scrub. There's a lot of laurel sumac around there. There's Mount Ellie. All right, good old North Iron Mountain. Been admiring this one for a while now, since I learned about it a couple years ago. Always knew about Iron Mountain, but moving here to San Diego County, I'm trying to get to as many of these summits and peaks as I can, just because I love the feeling of being on a summit, or at least as far as I can go without busting my butt. Fish and manzanita. Psilococcus bicolor. That should be a fairly frequent find. And now we're getting true manzanitas. It's like last week. You feel the leaves on this one. Yeah, we got big berry manzanita here now. Arctostaphylos glauca. So we have two fairly closely related shrubs in the heath family. Mission manzanita and big berry manzanita. Latter, which is a true manzanita. But they're both in the Ericaceae heath family. And they're related. Ooh. A lot of younger sugar bushes. Or sugar sumac. Alright, so time to keep on trucking, and I'll keep you updated as I do getting a nice little workout going here. Up here in the Poway range for the first time since February 2023 when I did Iron Mountain and a couple other nearby peaks. All right, up I go. Who knows what kind of botanical awesomeness I'll find today. I'll be on the look, that's for darn sure. Oh, before I go, chaparral whitethorn. Ceanothus leucodermis. Leucodermis literally means white skin in Greek, which has white bark, especially on upper branches. That's what leucodermis is Greek, in Greek. All right. See, I can't even stop filming a clip because I keep finding botanical interest. San Diego mountain mahogany. I believe that's the San Diego mountain mahogany. Cercocarpus minutiflorus. I'm wondering if birchleaf mountain mahogany would be a factor here as well. Normally here in San Diego County, you got to go deeper into the mountain slopes to find the birchleaf species. You can find it not as far inland in LA and Orange counties, but you can find it in some of the coastal or near coastal foothills. Here in San Diego County, you just got to go pretty far in. All right, enough yapping, more climbing, probably more botanizing. Keep you posted. All right. Next up on our botanical tour of the Poway range, here we go. Erydidion crassifolium, Erydi crassifolium. Thickleaf yerba santa, making its first appearance along the Ellie Lane Trail. Gotten a few of those specimens popping up now too. Barely put the camera down from my last clip, and I'm already getting more. I love these Ceanothus crassifolius, Erydi crassifolius specimens. When these things get older, they become almost tree-like, very arborescent, very erect. Here's another prominent feature of this part of the Poway range, especially between here and Woodson Mountain. Lots of huge boulders and rock outcrops. As you can see higher up on the hill towards North Iron Mountain, you can have a lot of, I believe it's called, don't quote me on this, Woodson Mountain granodiorite, or granodiorite. I guess pronunciation of that's kind of not my stronghold there, but a strong suit. But yeah, I think this might be part of that Woodson Mountain granodiorite. Don't quote me on this. I'm not very much a geologist, but whatever I can learn about a place, I like to learn about it. And this is no different, because this is a captivatingly beautiful area. I love how the chaparral is so thick and dense and tall. These scrub oaks. Yeah, this is San Diego mountain mahogany here. Cercocarpus minutiflorus. And we got a coast live oak too. Might see a few trees here and there. I'll take it. I know on the backside of Woodson Mountain, in other words, where the Fry Kogel Trail is, there are patches of woodland and maybe even oak forest. I've never done that trail, but would love to do that one too. Yeah, here's a coast live oak right here. Quercus agrifolia, Erydi agrifolia. Trying to see what the acorn situation is on it. I see a few. I've seen a lot of coast live oaks that are completely covered in them, almost weighing down their branches almost. Seems like it's going to be a good year for coast live oak acorns. I don't know about the other variant, Erydi oxydania, that thrives in the mountains and higher elevations, but Erydi agrifolia seems to be doing pretty good, so I'll take it. I haven't been near an oxydania for a while, so next time I'm up there, Cuyamaca or something, keep an eye on that. All right. Yeah. God, those boulders are gorgeous. All right, away I go for more of this interesting climb. Noticing that it hasn't rained here in quite a while, but I'm noticing some areas of the soil are kind of damp. Well, what's going on is condensation on the leaves of the chaparral shrubs been dripping, creating a little fog drip. That does help them a little bit during the dry season, because I see some damp spots on the soil down here. Ooh, there's a nice little ravine over here. Oh, look at that. White flowered currant. Ribes indicorum. Pretty cool. Yeah, we just plunged into this little gulch, and it just got really shady. And the chaparral shrubs got much larger and thicker, denser. Oh, a toyon, finally. I haven't seen one of those. I don't remember seeing that on the last hike. Toyon. Okay. Wow, these are some large shrubs. It feels almost more like a woodland or even a forest. I love when chaparral gets like this. I love it. We're in a protected, less sun exposed area. Chaparral can get quite large. Like these ceanothus, single trunked, some of them. They're like miniature trees. And look how large the leaves are on this big berry manzanita. Wow. You know this area stays protected longer. Boy, yeah. Kind of had a feeling the Ellie Lane Trail was going to be really incredible. Oh yeah, look how tall this sugar bush is here. And we got our first hollyleaf cherry of the day. Here we go. Prunus ilicifolia, subspecies ilicifolia. No cherries left on it though. I don't know if that one produced this year. We still got some seeds hanging off of the Cercocarpus minutiflorus. But yeah. I know a lot of people, that's not all people, a lot of people, not all, obviously. There are a lot of them that are out there like me, but a lot of people might just think chaparral is just something to get through to get to the forest or something higher up on the mountain. When I was younger, much younger, before I really fully came to appreciate all of our different landscapes, even I fell victim to that mentality. Because when I was a kid, my folks or my uncle would take me up into the mountains and always be excited to get to the conifer forest, up where the Jeffrey pines, ponderosas, sugar pines, white firs, incense cedars all grow. And of course the broadleaf trees, especially the California black oak, higher up in the mountains. I would always not be able to wait to get past the chaparral part to get to the forest part. But luckily, I've really come to grow to and appreciate the beauty, the insane beauty, I may add, of the chaparral environment. It's more than just a bunch of bushes on the side of a hill. It's a whole intricate ecosystem, and it's quite variable depending on where you go, what side of the mountain you're on. It can be real small and scrubby, or it can be like this, almost like a miniature forest. So I've definitely come to learn on my own to appreciate the rich ecosystem that is the chaparral. And for that, I am grateful that I came to revere this ecosystem. There's quite a bit quite a bit of diversity over here in species. So, yeah. Wow, look at the views up here. It's beautiful as heck. All right, I'm gonna keep on climbing. Keep you posted. All right, not that much longer later. Grade's mellowing out as I'm approaching a saddle area. Should be nearing Table Rock pretty soon. Great views of these beautiful Poway range peaks and hills. I'm sure that's not even looking at the top. Guarantee you that's not even looking at the top. The profile of North Iron Mountain. The profile is relatively gentle sloping, apparently. But it's supposed to be higher than these back peaks here. Some of these back peaks. It's higher than those. And it looks like it's lower, probably because you can't even see the summit from here. I don't think. Unless my mind's playing tricks on me and I'm looking at an optical illusion. But yeah, so I should be approaching the saddle and Table Rock. Yikes, I hate when I do that. Pretty soon. Didn't take a super long time to get over here. Estimating just by doing the peaks, it'll be about a 5-mile hike, I'm estimating. Here's a used trail here, but then I want to go to find Table Rock first. To get up to Mount Ellie, there's supposed to be a trail just on the backside of the saddle, and that is supposed to be the way I get over there. There's a trail going here. So, yeah, according to this, I've only hiked about a mile. Interesting. So Table Rock, I think, is this over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'll go ahead and take a look. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there we are. That's why right there. It looks like a table. I know this is a lot of people's kick it spot. Again, one of the last photos I took, I was still the only car at the staging area of Ellie Lane. Probably not nearly as popular as the main Iron Mountain trailhead at the corner of Poway Road in 67. But there's our Table Rock right there. And it's just this big slab here. And that's looking up at Mount Ellie. So yeah, from here the perspective looks like this is lower. Well, it's probably because there's more slope as you go up and over that. Would probably be a false summit or false ridge line. There's Iron Mountain right there. 2,696 feet. That was, I think, that was the third peak I've climbed in the Poway range. First one was Mount Steve, or peak 2245, and then Little Iron Mountain. It's hard to see from here, but there's a little pinnacle next to it. So yeah, that's a nice little area here. This is definitely a good spot to take a break. But I know there's supposed to be a use trail on the backside of this big outcrop here that I was going to plan to follow to get up to North Iron Mountain. I'll have to see if I can find it around here. Otherwise, I'll probably have to use that single track that I saw and see if it leads me up there. But yeah, there's no way that that's the summit right there. There's no way. Because that looks higher. And that's Mount Ellie. And Mount Ellie's about 260 feet lower in elevation than North Iron Mountain. And look at this. This Ceanothus tomentosus growing out of this rock, all stunted in shape and size. It's growing right out of the cracks in the rock. It's really resilient our chaparral shrubs can be. Really cool. Really neat. Alright, so now I'm going to go back to the trail after I take a couple pictures around here. And then I'm going to go hunt for the use trails. I'm going to go first hunt for Mount Ellie. And it looks like that one's going to be a pretty decent climb. I think here from the saddle, I think it's about a 200 to between 200 and 300 foot climb. So not extraordinarily hardcore, but I think there's some scrambling. I think there's going to be some rock scrambling. I think especially at the top, if I remember correctly from what I've read. But I'm going to go ahead and take a few pictures here at Table Rock and then start working my way up. Before I rejoin the trail, here's a multi-clumped chaparral yucca, Hesperal yucca whippley. And I guess this is Forma caespitosa, because this is a multi-rosette one. Typically, your typical chaparral yuccas you see here in San Diego County are the single rosette ones like this expired one here. Usually, and that's Hesperal yucca whippley, Forma whippley. Used to be divided up into subspecies. Or it might still be by some botanists. But you see here, most of them are single rosette yuccas. But even this one here looks like it's a multi-rosette one, because you can see the dead rosette here, because each rosette is monocarpic. It flowers, sets seed once, and dies. So if it's a single rosette yucca, the whole entire organism, the whole plant, will die off after setting seed. Now, if it's a multi-rosette yucca, a multi-rosette one, like this one here, only the rosette that sends out a flower stalk and sets seed, whether or not it's successful in setting seed actually won't matter. Whichever rosette sends out the flower stalks is going to be the rosette that dies. However, the entire genetic organism won't die, only the rosette that sends it out. Sends out the flower stalk, will die. So the plant itself, the entire organism, the clonal clump, will survive by setting pups or offsets. All right, so let's see. I'm going to start heading towards this way a little bit. I'm going to be looking for a use trail to get up to Mount Ellie. Oh, here we go. Ooh, we're getting dense over here. And now we're in a scrub oak grove. Let me see. I got to be on the lookout for a use trail branching off this way. These are some bigger scrub oaks here. So I look for a use trail branching off this way. Let's hope I can find it. I don't know if it'll be very obvious. But I saw the imagery on Google Earth, and I saw that there was indeed a use trail there. As I'm going along, look how large the leaves are on these Quercus acutidens. These are pretty large leaves for a scrub oak. This one has a little bit of an arborescent habit. In other words, almost tree-like habit. These are some very large leaves. Pretty large leaves for scrub oaks. Okay. I see something here. What's going on here? I think this will be my use trail to get up to North Iron Mountain. I do see a pathway here. Still looking for a pathway on this side. So I'm trying to find. There is supposed to be a good use trail, or at least a followable use trail to get up to Mount Ellie. So I guess I'm gonna descend for a while and look for it. It should be near here, as far as I can remember seeing on the imagery. There should be a use trail to get up there. I know other people have done trip reports stating that they've had to bushwhack to get up there, as opposed to a use trail, which might still mean some bushwhacking, but nothing as insane as climbing up completely off trail. But right now I'm not seeing, right now, not yet at least. I don't know, this might be it here. I did see what looked like a use trail going up that way, but all right, let me see if this is a use trail here. Let me see. Kind of hope this is. Yeah, I think so. I probably have some wading and brush maneuvering here. Let's see. Kind of looks like a use trail now. This might be it. We'll see. I'm hoping this is a use trail. All right, I'm gonna have to scramble over these rocks and see if there's still a continuation on the other side of this. We'll see. I want to see before I make too much progress up this and find it. It kind of looks like a use trail here. All right. Okay. Looks like I'm on my way to climbing up Mount Ellie, which is good. Kind of glad. Let's see how well this goes, but I have a feeling I'm going to get drenched in condensation. Pants are already getting a little damp. Yeah, I always wear long pants on my hikes. Always. All right. So far, so good. All right. Yeah. This is definitely a followable path. So, all right, things are looking good. I was definitely a little concerned about being able to locate this trail, to be honest with you. Sometimes what looks like a good followable use trail on Google Earth might end up being harder than you think to actually find. That's happened to me a few times before. All right. So far, this is very good. This is a very good sign. More Big Berry Manzanita to accompany me on this trek, heading roughly west. I guess I'm heading roughly west, I think. Or north, I don't even know. Maybe south. Up towards Mount Ellie. I'm going to go ahead and swap out the batteries, and I'll continue on this beautiful hike. All right, so a little quick update. So you're going to get up to this little rocky spot here. We'll have to do some very light scrambling around some rocks. Pretty easy. Now, you're going to have to kind of look for the trail when you get to the back side of this, because I'm coming up from roughly this way. So when you get over here, you'll see some scrub oak here. You see the use trail continuing along here. Let's see. All right, so far so good. This doesn't look too bad. Boy. Now it's starting to close in a little bit, so it looks like might have to be some navigational stuff here, but just look for the trail under your feet. Now we're starting to come into a little bit more of a brushy situation. It's very overgrown over here, just to let you know. Like this kind of little okay. All right. So far, still relatively followable. So, very close attention, especially on the way down. Just keep an eye out for your trail. This one seems to be kind of doing a sweep back this way. It's still pretty followable, but there is some light brush, not a severe bushwhack. But this is not in a maintained trail. But now it opens up again as we start gaining the slope more. I could definitely see pretty clear in front of me the use trail. So I'm just going to keep on following this, and we'll see. So I've noticed going at kind of an oblique angle. Kind of weird, actually. It was climbing, and now it's kind of staying kind of level. I didn't expect. Oh, wait a minute, here we go. Right here is a little bend here. This is quite doable. It's steep, don't get it twisted, but this is definitely doable. You want to have good footwear, of course, but this is not that bad, at least compared to what I've done before. I would still say I'd say last week's hike up to this point, up to Goat Peak, was harder. A lot less scrambling on this one. Ooh, sorry, spider. Didn't mean to bother the spider. Oh boy. That was not intentional. Sorry, spider. Busted a web by accident. Starting to get dirty though, like last week. This kind of seems to go up at a quite oblique angle. It's going uphill though, at least now it is, so I'll take that. Going back down, this might be a little tougher to follow. You tend to have that problem when I descend use trails, is when I tend to lose them more frequently. All right. Okay, here we go. It climbs, levels off, climbs again, levels off. Kind of expected this to go straight up, but this one seems to give you a little respite here and there. It's definitely heading up to the higher ground. All right. Oh boy. Keep you posted. Gotta kind of pay attention a little bit here. Alright, so it's another spot where you're gonna have to look around and pay attention where you're going. It looks like it goes this way. So when you're up to this little spot, we're gonna have some scrambling up here. Let's see. Looks like it won't be more than class 2, I think. I just gotta worm my way around. this first rock here. All right. Yeah, that was pretty simple. That was pretty easy. Ooh. Rocks are a little big for me. So I'm not a very tall guy, so kind of have to prop myself, but it's not that bad. Some class 2 over here. Nothing more than class 2. Okay. All right. Now, just got to pay attention. Double on the way back down. Because that's where I tend to lose the use trail, is on my return trip. That's where I tend to lose my way and have to recalculate. So far, nothing more than class 2 in spots. Mostly just steep class 1. And the soil, at least now, while I'm doing this, it's pretty stable underfoot. Haven't really had any slipping issues. Been pretty lucky. All right. So yeah, not super slippery. Just watch where you step, obviously, but this isn't that bad. All right. Nearing top of something. Let me see. Okay. Looks like I'm approaching the summit of Mount Ellie, I think. Let me see. Is this it or is it over there? Can't tell yet. Not sure. I'm trying to see. Slap myself with a bush. Oh, there it is. There's a summit outcrop. So, I think what I'm going to do is kind of bushwhack my way out of this little spot here. And I think go around this way to actually reach the peak, I think. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no huge major technical rock scrambles to get up here. A couple small class 2 sections and some steep high angle class 1, but here we are. This is it. Mount Ellie, 2,440 feet. And I mean 2,440 plus. It's one of those closed contour hikes. Yeah, so there's North Iron Mountain right there. Now, I know there are a couple of other summits here, like Linnaea Summit, Iron View Top, and a bunch of other random peaks, and some fairly better known peak bagger summits. But I haven't learned enough about this range to be able to pick them out. So on my viewfinder, I might have the research by then to be able to point out which is which. So what I will do is I'll point out what I can from here. So we're going to look roughly south, and that's over at Iron Mountain, 2,696 feet. And that little rocky outcrop there is Little Iron Mountain, which is a little over 2,400 feet. Ramona Overlook Peak should be one of the ones near here, I believe. I think. But yeah, I'll get a better line of sight from here to figure out which is which. And then there's another saddle between this area and North Iron Mountain, which I'm not planning on going that way. But yeah, this is looking out more towards the east here. So I'm kind of jumping ahead. Looking east, now turning around to the northeast. That's over towards the city of Ramona. Kind of hard to see in the mist of the overcast. And then I'm going to swing it around more towards a little more northerly. And that's it right there. That's North Iron Mountain. I think that right up there, I think that's the Class 5 rock climb. Because I know there's supposed to be a small coast live oak tree at the base of it. So I think that's it there. I think that's the rock climbing area. Now we're going to swing it around a little bit more northerly. And there's Woodson Mountain, the pinnacle of this range. And the clouds are just scraping the top of it. And that's just under 2,900 feet. 2,894 feet is Woodson Mountain. And now we're going to be swinging it around towards the northwest. Then the west. And we're going to swing around to the southwest to some of the hills I climbed last week. And I'm going to zoom in. It's very misty because there's a lot of haze and probably drizzle from the marine layer. I believe that's peak 1820. I don't even think that's a peak bagger peak. It's just an elevation reference on the topo maps. That right there should be peak 1770, I believe. And there's an intermediate peak. And I believe that right there was the peak I climbed last week, which would be Goat Peak. I think that's what that is right there. Yeah, that should be Goat Peak right there. That was last week's hike. I was probably up on top of it about this time last week. So I think that's Goat Peak, that pointy one there. And then down below us is Highway 67, California 67. The regular Iron Mountain trailhead is right over there. It's kind of hard to see. I kind of have to angle up a little bit, but right there is the intersection of California 67 going this way and Poway Road going that way. And that's where the main Iron Mountain trailhead is. And we swing it a little closer back towards the south and southwestish. That's Mount Steve. That was the first peak I climbed in the Poway range when I did Little Iron and Iron Mountains. That's Mount Steve right there. Right there, it's Mount Steve. Or peak 2245 on the topo maps. And Peak Bagger doesn't list it as Mount Steve, but I think it's locally known as Mount Steve. But it's peak 2245 as well. So now, I guess what I'm going to do now is get my summit selfie and start getting ready to amble up towards North Iron Mountain will be my next attempt. I don't know if, like I said, I don't think I'm going to even try to get up that boulder. I might scramble up a little bit if I can, just to get up it a little bit, but I'm not going to, I'm not a rock climber, so I really don't have that kind of experience. But I will go to the highest point I can, and that should be an interesting hike. All right, time to get a summit selfie and check out the summit register here on Mount Ellie. Yeah, I realize it looks pretty fuzzy, but I did sign the register. And yeah, I've seen a picture of this on, I think, was it Peak Bagger or something like that. Here's the little pamphlet. I'm glad this is here. Yep, Mount Ellie. It says 2,455. The Peak Bagger registers at 2,440 to 2,480, I believe. But which 2,455 is within that 40-foot contour range. So let's see. An XC means cross-country route finding is required, which is this one. Well, it's a use trail. You just follow the use trail, and you got to follow it kind of carefully, but yeah, it's not too bad. So yeah, a bunch of different peaks here. Of course, Mount Ellie is kind of an unofficially named summit. But yeah, it's cool to be up here. Really cool. Yeah, Mount Ellie. 8th highest point in the Poway range. Yep. Good old Iron. Iron Mountain is the third highest. It's third highest. After North Iron Mountain. Of course, North Iron Mountain is their second highest peak. that's my next destination over there. But yeah, it's pretty cool. There's a pretty followable use trail up here. You just got to pay attention. It does become indistinct at times, and you will have to plow through some branches and stuff, but it's not that bad. I've had much more difficult climbs. It almost kind of reminds me of hiking some of the lower peaks in the Santa Ana Mountains up in Orange and Riverside counties a little bit. Kind of gives me that similar vibe a little bit. But yeah, pretty cool up here. All right. Time to start heading down, so I'm really gonna have to stay focused on sticking to the use trail. Again, a lot of times it's easier to keep when climbing up, or at least in my experience, and easier to lose on the way down. So probably won't be filming that much unless I run into a situation where oh goodness gracious, I gotta back up and look for it type of thing happens. So we'll see. A couple of confusing spots, but for the most part, other than some brush and a couple of small class 2 scrambles, not too bad. And that's my next objective over there. So try to get up to that, North Iron Mountain. So let's see how this works. Alright. Just gotta really pay attention on my way down. Alright, well, I'll see you on the way down for more updates. If needed. Otherwise, I'll probably see you back at the junction of the use trail and the main Ellie trail. Looks like I do have to do a little update on the way down this use trail. What we got here, is this hairy red berry I'm looking at? Rhamnus pilosa? Bet you by golly, wow. Yeah, Rhamnus pilosa, hollyleaf redberry is close relative, the hairy redberry, Rhamnus pilosa. I haven't seen a lot of that yet. There's another one there in the center of the frame. I haven't seen a lot of it. I've maybe seen a couple. That's pretty cool. All right, so this is where we gotta pay attention. Let me see something. Gotta make sure I came up this way, or did I go this way? No, I think this is the way. Okay, so this is where we're going downhill. Is gonna definitely require a little more attention to detail. Gotta scramble down these rocks. I said I did a couple of scrambles to get up here. Nothing insane, but I just gotta kind of pay attention where I'm going. So, all right, down I go. Let's see if I can navigate myself around this a little bit. Yeah, it's always a little sketchier on the way down than it is on the way up. Let's see. Okay. Let's see if I'm by the use trail or not. I see something over there. Okay. Yeah, I just got to take your time going down a lot more than going up. Okay, so I'm past one of the scrambles. It's really not that bad. It's just a little awkward. Just got to watch where you go. All right, well, so far so good. See you down the way. I'm going to be honest with you. Going back down this, so far I've been able to maintain an eye on the use trail. Pretty much, like I said, that after that one scrambling section, I had to kind of look around for a minute. But other than that, so far, it's definitely more slippery going down. Even though the soil is really not that slippery, but it's a lot easier to lose traction going downhill. But I'm going to be honest, not really had too many issues I wonder if that small flower there, I wonder if that's a Jepsonia or something. I wonder what that is. I wonder if that's a Jepsonia or a Boykinia. There are a few of them. They usually flower when the leaves are dormant on them. Flowers are tiny. I would have expected Jepsonias or it could be Boykinias. I think those are Saxifragaceae plants, I believe. When I get back down, I'm not going to do it here because there's no way I'm going to be able to comfortably be able to do this. Bust out the field guide and take a look at that. See if I can figure it out. And looks like we got Eastwood manzanita up here too. It's another species of Arctostaphylos. Probably Arctostaphylos glandulosa, subspecies glandulosa, I believe is the subspecies here. But then again, I'll have to do some research on that because we do have a bunch of different subspecies of that shrub. And yeah, this is it right here. It's got the really almost sandpapery glandular leaves I'd expect on Arctostaphylos glandulosa subspecies. And I didn't really pay attention on the way up. On the way back down, been noticing that now. I was too busy paying attention on the way up. Yeah, we got a lot of it here. And yeah, we got a lot more Rhamnus pilosa. Now I'm seeing this. This is the third hike I've done in the Poway range in the last month. So now I'm seeing, looks like Poway is a pretty good area Poway area is a good region to find hairy redberry. Now I'm finding it all the time. But yeah, see, this is not a very direct approach. In fact, we're actually going slightly uphill. So if you're looking up at the hill and thinking to yourself, oh boy, this is going to be an insane climb. It's steep, but you do get some respites. Sometimes on used trails, you don't get any break until you're at the top. But this one does have a few relatively flat sections. As you see here, I'm actually going slightly uphill. So you do get a couple reprieves, but then once you get past this section, you're looking at a pretty solid uphill climb after this. But again, my experience shows it's not exceedingly steep, and it's doable if you have some basic rock scrambling experience. You don't have to have anything more than some moderate class 2 scrambling experience. And there's nothing more than class 2 that I experienced on the way up here. So yeah, it's not too bad. So we're back at the one spot here. This is one of the spots you'll kind of have to pay attention to where the trail comes out, because I came out from one of these spots here, like I pointed out earlier on the ascent portion of this area. So now what I have to do is kind of pay attention and look to see where the trail continues. So when you get an open space like this, there are a couple of them, not that many. You will have to kind of pay attention. And when you're coming downhill, it's going to be a little bit more on the right if you're going downhill, if you're going down the correct way. And here's your trail. Not that far from the actual maintained trail, so I shouldn't be much longer before I'm there. So I did mention the Eastwood manzanitas, but now we're here back at a big berry manzanita, which has smooth leaves, generally wider leaves, much larger fruits, which just doesn't seem to have any fruit on it right now. Much more upright than the mounding shrub that Eastwood manzanita typically is. I've seen some Eastwood manzanitas get pretty tall, but they rarely have room underneath them to see the trunks very well, or not very commonly. In other words, they're not nearly as upright. So I'm just about to get back to the main trail. Should be over there pretty soon. Yeah, Mount Ellie, definitely. Really cool peak. Nice views up there. And thankfully the marine layer has lifted enough to where I could point out some views. It's very hazy and misty off in the distance, of course, typical of a marine layer overcast. But since this is a deep and thick marine layer, sometimes the bases of the clouds will be higher, so you will get some visibility underneath it. And it looks like I'll be underneath the clouds when I get up to North Iron Mountain. You're the first hikers I've heard all day. Oh boy. Yeah, just like last week, only a little bit lesser degree. I got dirty and dusty. It's all part of the cross-country experience. So I should be back at the trail pretty soon. Get past this beautiful slab here, coronated by this beautiful Quercus acutidens scrub oak, Torius hybrid scrub oak. All right, so here's one other little spot where you might have to kind of pay attention. Like I said, there are only a few of these areas where it's not 100% obvious until you're right at it. But right at the base of these rocks, you should be able to find your use trail pretty well here. Actually, sometimes it feels it's a little more defined higher up you go in spots. It seems to be even more defined than it does down here. So that's why sometimes knowing where to start your climb is what makes it much easier to navigate your way up. If you know where the use trail actually starts. Sometimes the use trails will start out very ill-defined and become better defined as you go up to towards your destination. But here we go. Should be back at the trail very soon. Right over here, actually. There's the trail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back up this way. Just a short distance, and there should be another use trail branching off to go up North Iron Mountain. So here we go. Get ready for the next climb. Back at an interesting junction here. This is where I came. Now I gotta try to remember which way I need to go. Get back up where I need to go. Yeah, this is the maintained trail here. I can tell this log placed here. So this is the way I'm going to be going back. Oh, and yeah, here are the scrub oaks with the huge leaves on them. Some of the largest leaves I've ever seen on scrub oaks. Very interesting. So this is the way I came. So back at this junction, I'd be heading this way. This is where I would go to gain the use trail to get to Mount Ellie. Here's another use trail right here. This should be my use trail to North Iron Mountain. So let's see. See, it's wet down here. A lot of fog drip from the marine layer. That's probably why these scrub oaks are pretty lush and large. The marine layer probably scrapes this area with fog a lot. All right, so here we go. Looking for my way up to North Iron Mountain. Let's see. Seems like there are a bunch of junctions here. Alright, this is a little different. I think this is going to head towards that saddle over there, which is not where I want to go. I'm going to head up this way and see if this is the use trail. Let's see. This might just be Table Rock here. I think this is Table Rock again. Yeah. Yeah, it's Table Rock. Let's see. Alright, so I'm at the back end of Table Rock. Should be a use trail around here somewhere. Let's see. I think I found it. It's supposed to be on the east, back northeast side of Table Rock. It looks like I found a use trail. So here we go. This one will be a little bit longer of a climb than Mount Ellie, because this peak's about 250 to 270 feet higher. So I think I have about close to a 500-foot climb ahead of me. So this one will probably be a little more of a butt kicker, but we'll see. Pretty cool. All right. There's Mount Ellie. Look at this. Almost like one of those Hawaiian rainforest peaks. Pretty cool looking. Let's see. I think this one might require some more navigation, but look on Google Earth, you'll see it. All right. Wow, yeah. Get a lot of these rocks today. All right. Sun's starting to break through a little bit. I don't know if it's supposed to break up. Actually, supposed to be a chance of light rain showers this evening. I was almost flirting with doing Big Black Mountain northeast of here in Ramona, but I didn't know if I want to do a 14-mile hike. I've been really run down from work lately. All right, it's a pretty followable trail so far. This is good. All right. Yeah, it's starting to clear up a little bit. It might clear up and cloud up again periodically, so I don't know if we're gonna get clear views today, but it's definitely steep, doable. I think I just need to probably get some water in my system. It's so beautiful out here. I love the Poway range. I pretty much love every mountain and peak and mountain range I hike in. But when I'm at each different mountain range, I'm always appreciating it at that time. Look at the beautiful boulders. I'm pretty sure this is Woodson Mountain grounded diorite, but I'll probably check up on it. That's what we have on Woodson Mountain. Woodson Mountain grounded diorite. Look at the apple galls on this scrub oak. Those aren't actual apples. They're galls made by gall wasps. All right, I'm gonna keep climbing up this and keep you posted on my progress. All right, well, next level of botanical interest has just come into play. Coastal spice bush, or bushru. Here we have it, right here, Neoridium dumosum. First one I've seen today. It's not the first one I've seen in the Poway range. I've seen a few along the Iron Mountain Trail to the south. Now we got some more popping up. These are the old fruits, the dark spots. Neoridium dumosum. Pretty neat. Now we're getting a few of them now. As we're definitely quite a bit above 2,000 feet. Not sure how much higher these will go. But yeah, we got Neoridium dumosum. And I wouldn't be surprised if interior live oak becomes a factor at some point. I know I've seen a couple towards Iron Mountain. We're still mostly in the Berbertifolia and Acutidens complex over here. It's more Eastwood Manzanita. This is a pretty easy to follow trail. Just got to pay attention when you go around a boulder. Sometimes you might go around a boulder and have to look around for it. Whew! Boy, boy. A little overgrown. Pretty easy to follow. All right. Up I continue. Keep you posted on more updates as I climb up this hill. This is the second time I've noticed this, but if you look carefully enough, this is the second time I've seen it. It's actually a faint arrow painted into the rock. I was actually going to start scrambling up this way, class 2, but arrows pointing this way. And this is the second time I've seen it. First time I was kind of shocked to see it. I didn't really think to whip out the camera. But yeah, it's the second set of arrows. The first one I think was 2 arrows. This one was 1 arrow pointing which way to climb up. Here's another arrow here. Very interesting. Oh, sorry, Mr. Harry Redberry. Oh, sorry, buddy. There's another one there. It's starting to become a little more difficult. The footing. Looks like this is a faint arrow here. So I guess look down and follow the arrows, I guess. Just about level with Mount Ellie. Just got a few more 100 feet. But North Iron Mountain's supposed to be higher than those over there. So it looks like still got quite a bit of work to do. But so far this isn't inordinately difficult. It's just paying attention where you're going. So I slipped going uphill. Usually I'll slip when I go downhill. I just follow the use trail up the hill. All right, see you on the next clip. Get some more water in me. All right, so I'm at this boulder, still following some arrows. What's interesting is this thick-leaf yerba santa growing right out of the crack. Crazy thing is, I've seen these bust through pavement, asphalt. I remember I've stopped at some turnouts on Angeles Crest Highway in Los Angeles County, Angeles National Forest, and I've seen these puncture through newly paved asphalt on turnouts on along Angeles Crest Highway, California too. So I've seen these things will bust through asphalt. And here's another interesting curiosity. Out of this rock is a Mission Manzanita sprouted out of this. Look how tiny this one is. But it's probably been here for a long time. It's already got fruit on it. That's crazy. That is crazy cool. That is awesome. I love it. And it's starting to get flower buds on it too. Silococcus bicolor growing right out of the crack of this granite boulder. So one thing about these inland San Diego County mountain hikes, a lot of them have these really beautiful boulders, and around boulders you can get some pretty interesting botany, pretty crazy botanical finds as you climb up this. Getting a lot more Rhamnus pilosa up this way as well. So yeah, I'm just following the periodical arrows. There's another faint one there. They're actually fairly numerous. For the most part, if you got good route finding skills, you should be able to negotiate your way around. But as I was saying before, when you want to climb North Iron Mountain, one of the best things is to get to, when you're approaching Table Rock, go to the northeastern end of that big rock outcrop, and you can just walk on it. It's easy walking. You're just walking on a granite slab. So when you're in the Table Rock area, that's what you're going to do. And then you're going to look to the back right portion of it, and you'll start seeing a use trail at the end of the big slab behind Table Rock. So should be able to negotiate your way, and for the most part, the use trail is pretty followable, but that's also partially due to those arrows. But if you have some pretty good navigational ability to be able to navigate on your own, you should be able to find your way around them. I will say though, the arrows are helpful, so you don't have to overthink it. You can just follow these and you're golden. But for the most part, this is a pretty followable use trail. Except, like I said, the only times where it's going to get confusing is when it goes around one of those boulders. And there are a couple of small, pretty easy class 2 rock scrambles to surmount, but those are pretty simple. You get up to the larger boulders, that's when you definitely want to pay more attention to looking for those arrows. But I think I have a fairly good ability to navigate. I've done a lot of off-trail hikes, completely off-trail, no use trail, nothing, just open country and bushwhacking, and sometimes an open forest. But it's always good not to be cocky about it, A. And B, if you do get some helpful hints, just use them. Sometimes you can't always trust rock ducks, random rock ducks in the... But this is a fairly decently traveled use trail. Good enough to where you can trust those arrows. Navigation, again, only gets a little tricky when the use trail goes near a boulder. Other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just follow the use trails. Sometimes, I think there are other use trails around North Iron Mountain as well. So there are probably other entry points to climb this. I just took the one that I saw most clearly on Google Earth, which is the one near Table Rock. I mean, so far this is not a really super strenuous hike by any stretch. I'd say it's in the lower moderate. For inexperienced hikers, this might be a little tough, but for experienced hikers, it's a nice workout. That's a beautiful hike. Very beautiful hike. These boulders are just making it look so charming out here. Just take your time. You don't need to rush it. Just take your time going up this, especially going down this. Should be fine. All right. Just going to keep navigating my way up this use trail. All right. Still got the arrow pointing. Getting near some big rocks. I suspect I'm getting close to the ridge line. Another arrow there. But ever since I got around those last boulders, it's been pretty darn easy to navigate this use trail. Not gonna lie. We're actually getting some trees up here now as we get closer to the summit or the ridge line. We're starting to get rock ducks now too. Well, yeah, these are coast live oaks. Quercus agrifolia, Verde agrifolia. So let's see. I think the summit boulder is going to be something like that. It's supposed to be a pretty big one. And it requires class 5. Something way beyond my expertise. So, any class 5 portions, I ain't trying that. Alright. This trail kind of winds its way around. There's no way in heck I'd be climbing these. Not a chance in heck. So this is leading up here. So I'm basically at the ridge line. Basically on North Iron Mountain's ridge. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's the summit. The summit rock there. Which I'm not even trying to do that. I'll climb up this slab here. Climb up this easy bit here. Oh, this is an easy walk up. So that's where the summit area is there. There's 67. All right. Pretty cool. Pretty cool up here. All right, so I'm gonna go over that way. Try to find as close as I can get to the summit. All right, so I'm back here. That was the granite slab I ramped up earlier. This is where I came from. Wondering if I'm supposed to go around here. Let me see. Gotta look out for poison oak over here. Could be over here. Yeah, I can see some poison oak over there. Let's see if I can get through this without getting into any. Let me see if I can navigate my way around this without bushwhacking and poison oak. We'll see. Yeah, this is kind of sketchy over here, but it's passable. Oh boy. Okay, so that's the class 5 boulder. That's the summit boulder, I believe. Try to see if I can get around it. See if I can at least get part way up it. See if I can get around this. Oh boy. Let me see if I can navigate around this. Yeah, there's a lot of poison oak in there. Yeah, there's poison oak in there. Yeah, I'm not trying to get caught up in all that. Right there, yeah, there's poison oak. Figured there would be around here. Just trying to make sure I don't bushwhack in any of it. Well, I don't think I'll be climbing this boulder at all. Let me see what I can do. If I can get around the other side, maybe I can see if there are any other options that do not require bushwhacking and poison oak. But this is the summit area of North Iron Mountain, and I figured I'd try to at least get up to the highest point that I could access without putting myself beyond my limits, meaning, yeah, I'm not a big mountaineer, but that is the summit boulder there. So I might try to see, might explore around a little bit and see if I can find any other options for this area. Interesting. This is the summit area. That is the rock, and I think that's the oak tree that people climb to get up to that ledge right there. I think people actually climb one of these oak trees. I don't know if it's this one or this one, but people will start literally climbing into the oak trees to get up there, which is pretty interesting. You got to climb a tree to get to the summit, but hey, you do what you got to do, especially if you can do real rock climbing. Sometimes you'll do what you got to do, as long as you're careful and don't hurt the tree. But yeah, I think there's a class 3 ledge there, and there's supposed to be that last class 5 bit there. But I do see some poison oak in there, and I am not exposing myself to that. Let me see if I can find another way to get around here, maybe. Wow, look at that. The summit rocks. Alright, maybe there'll be other ways for me to get around this area, maybe. Alright, so I kind of pushed my way through, bushwhacked my way through here, over to this side. I want to come up here and look to see. Oh yeah, I see a bunch of poison oak. Yeah. Yeah, some poison oak over here too, so I am not messing with that at all. I could have sworn there were trails that go along the ridge. So I came up from on the other side of this rock here. It looks like there's some type of a pathway here as well. Let's see. Trying to see if I can get my way to the base of that. But yeah, that's where the summit. That's where the summit is, right up there. That's the summit of North Iron Mountain. Let me see something here. Okay, this is the way I came up before. Remember this section here. This is how I got up to the ridge line. Was via this path. I'm trying to see. Maybe I can scramble up a lesser boulder that doesn't require class 5. If I could do that, then that would be pretty cool as well, but we'll see. Alright. So yeah. This is where I came up before. Yeah, I went up that slab over there. And I passed through this little spot here as well. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get up this without ropes and anchors, carabiners and stuff. I don't think I can do this one either. So I might have to call it a summit. Go back up to that slab over there. I'll call it a summit over there. I'll call it a trail summit because it's higher up as you go up this way. The dirt is higher up. So I'll go back over here, call it a summit back on this slab here. And this will be my photo op place. I guess I'll go back up to this slab here. All right. So I'm going to go back up here and just call it a summit up here. I said I refuse to bushwhack and poison oak. Rock ducks over there too. Okay. Well, as for the trail, this is the trail summit. So I'll call it a trail summit. Not all the way exactly on the top, but about as high as I can go on trail without leaving the trail and bushwhacking and poison oak and trying to rock climb. So I'll keep this little slab as my subsidiary summit here on North Iron Mountain. I thought I'd at least be able to get to the base of the rock without having to bushwhack it ridiculous. And I thought there would have been a trail that I could follow that would go along that. I could scramble up those boulders there. If I could find that, then I'll go for it. But I didn't see any trail that went over there. I thought there would be. I was hoping there would be, because that would have been cool. I could at least scramble up some of those. Maybe class 2, maybe class 3 to get up to those. Get up to that though, Definitely looks pretty insane. So for now, I'll call this a summit. I'll call this my summit, or my high point for North Iron Mountain, top of which is 2,703 feet. So yeah, you get a beautiful view of Ramona from here. Very good view. This is Ramona down here. Poway's behind me. This is where Poway and Ramona meet through the small mountain pass through which California 67 goes, heading towards Ramona. 67 will end and it'll become Highway 78. And there's Woodson Mountain right there just to our north. Just under 200 feet higher than where we are right now. That's Woodson Mountain right there. Beautiful Woodson Mountain. Very similar scenery to here, only there's a very well-maintained trail to get to the summit area of Woodson. But there's supposed to be a class 3 rock boulder, or class 3 boulder at the top of Woodson if you want to really feel like you've summited something. But yeah, I've hiked up to the top of I've hiked up to Woodson Mountain once, but that was before I started filming, way before I started putting them on YouTube. I don't think I started filming clips and stuff. I had clips as back as far as 2017, as some of you might have seen on my channel, but I never really started making videos and releasing videos till early 2019. That's when I started my channel. So almost 6 years, but I have footage that goes back to early 2017. So I do have a lot of footage I love to use out here on my hikes. But yeah, good views. There's good old Iron Mountain again. Mount Steve. There's Mount Ellie. That's where I was earlier. And here's North Iron Mountain. Nice to finally be on the ridge line. Maybe not completely at the summit, the top, as hiking guy likes to call it, the peak. That's a great channel, by the way, Hiking Guy. If you want to learn about great hikes here in Southern California and beyond. But yeah, look at that. That's the actual summit boulder. But if I can find a use trail that'll get me at least to some of those subsidiary boulders, I can make it feel a little more official. But I'm just happy to be up here on North Iron Mountain, even if I'm not at the apex of it. All right, let me get a picture or two and start thinking about maybe seeing if I can get over there, but I didn't really see any clear way to get to those boulders over there. That looked like those might be class 3, which I could probably handle. So I'm looking at a pathway that weaves its way around this boulder here, hoping it gets me to the other side. We have a little fall color here, a little bit. Western poison oak, Toxicodendron diversilobum. So that's something you got to watch out for. And it grows right up here. Very close to where I'm walking. So you got to be very careful. So I want to see if I can weave my way around this. Just gonna do a half-hearted try. If I can get around this, that'd be great, but I'm not gonna overly worry about it. So yeah, trying to start working on my next fall color video for 2024. And then we got a little piece of it here with the Western poison oak. All right, let's see what else comes my way. All right, so I got through this tunnel here very carefully to avoid running into poison oak. And I'm on this side now. Yeah, I think this is going to lead me back the other way. I was hoping to find a use trail going over towards the peak. Yeah, I think this was the slab I was climbing earlier. So this is actually leading me back. So I wonder if there is a use trail that I can follow along the ridge. I thought there would be. I thought there was on Google Earth. What looked like a use trail. So I'm going to go back down this. I think that was the slab right there I ramped up earlier. I'm going to go back down this a little bit and try to see if I can find a use trail that'll lead me along the ridge, maybe towards where those boulders are, so I can at least make it 3/4 official as opposed to just halfway official. Now, let me see if this will work in my favor. Don't know yet. I thought there were use trails that go along this ridge. Even might even lead you partway down the other side. Okay, see, this is going up. Now we're starting to go up towards, back up towards the ridge a little bit. So let's see. See if this leads me along the ridge line the way I want to go, or if it's just gonna go down the other side of the mountain and not go where I want it to go. Yeah, I think this is gonna go down this way. Don't think this is gonna lead me where I wanted to go. Unless I find a use trail branching off to my left. So I'm not gonna go down very far unless I find a convincing trail that goes that way. Otherwise, this is probably as far as I go on North Iron Mountain. There are a couple of other trails that follow along this. Yeah, I seem to be going down the other side instead. So maybe I should just wisely call it a sub-summit where I was. Because it looks like this is going to either lead down towards there, or maybe even private property on the other side of North Iron. It's very scenic out here, though, not gonna lie. There's the boulder-studded Woodson Mountain again. You can see the radio towers on the summit area. Yeah, it's nice out here, though. It's nice and cool. But it looks like the marine layer is trying to break up a little bit. Sometimes it gets so thick and deep that it actually breaks open. So I'm going to assume this trail is just going to lead me down the mountain. I didn't see anything branching off in this direction. I was kind of hoping there would be, so I can navigate my way to those slightly higher boulders over there, so I can make it feel a little more official. But yeah, I think that was the slab right there in the center. That was the one I visited. It's pretty high up on the ridge, so maybe I should just be content and call that the summit for now. Start heading along this, try to navigate my way back to the other use trail. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to find a use trail that goes on the other side of this. I'll poke around for a few more minutes before I start my descent, just out of curiosity, just to see if I can find a way to do this, which would be nice. Alright, so to get back to where I was going before, I went through this crazy dip right here. So all I'm going to do is kind of go back the way I came, look to see if I can find an alternative, which I don't think that I saw one. So probably just lead me back down the mountain again. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anything branching off over in this direction. Oh, I'm just curious. There's something that'll lead over there too. I think I went this way first. Or not first, but when I was getting ready to attempt it. Yeah. So that's the summit boulder. So yeah, once I got a little bit past the chaparral here, we're starting noticing poison oak really kicking in something fierce. So I'll just go back over here. Just go back kind of by the base of the rock. So at least I'm close to the summit. But like I said, I am not going in there because there's some poison oak growing in there, and I am not doing that. But one of these oak trees, I don't know which one it is. I think it's the one behind on the other side. I think it's the one that people use to hoist themselves up, but this could be it too. But me weighing about 270 pounds, I don't know if that's going to be a very good idea. So I don't want to, A, I don't want to get hurt, and B, I don't want to hurt the tree either. Just to climb to the top of a summit boulder, it's kind of not fair, and it is not cool for me. Other people who are lighter weight, go for it. But yeah, this is the summit boulder, and this is about as far as I think I'm going to go. Get up to here. But I did see poison oak in there, so I'm not taking that chance. Pretty cool though. I just wish there were more of a pathway to get through all of this, so I don't have to bushwhack and poison oak. Pretty cool. Yeah, there's the base of the rock right there. But to get there, there's poison oak blocking the pathway. So for somebody like me, I don't mess around like that. I don't care how much I want to climb a summit. I'm not going to bushwhack and poison oak. But if that poison oak weren't there, if this weren't poison oak, I probably would at least bushwhack my way to there. Here's an interesting bunch of chaparral shrubs here too. But yeah, this is the base of the class 5 boulder. So I'm going to consider this my summit area and not go any further than this. Let's see if I can at least get some higher dirt. Yeah, right there. It's poison oak. But look at that. Look at that beautiful, beautiful rock. So one of these trees is the oak tree that people climb to get up there. Wow, pretty neat. Yep, North Iron Mountain. Again, this is about as far as I'm going. Pretty neat though. Yeah, I just wonder which one of these trees I climb. Alright, well, I'm going to start making my way back down. This is pretty close. Yeah, this rock right here, this boulder here's pretty high too. Pretty neat. Alright, I'm going to start heading back down. Going through this way, you're just going to dead end in some scrub oak. Those are just from Miramar? So those are just from Miramar, Marine Corps Air Station. Alright. Well, I'm going to start heading down this. Unless I find an alternative way to get to the other side, which I doubt. Should be kind of cool. I thought there were trails going along the ridge. Oh well. Time to start heading back down, I guess. I think I found another trail. Let me see. This looks like this might follow near the ridge line. I might be able to find higher ground. Looks like a use trail here, possibly. As long as I get back to this area here, I should be able to navigate my way down pretty well. Let me see. Let me see something here. Wasn't quite ready to give up on this. Kind of want to get to the highest ground possible. But I don't know if this is gonna start heading back downhill. Dang. Let me see something here. Let me see if I can try to do this. Oh, this is sketchy over here. This is not the same trail I went to get up. But I just want to see if I can skirt the ridge line a little bit. I thought there was a trail that was on the spine of the ridge. I think this is just going to go downhill. If it does, then never mind. Yeah, this is going downhill, not uphill. Not quite the way I wanted to go. So I think, wait a minute, hold up. It's going this way. Not quite ready to throw in the towel yet. Seems to skirt just underneath the ridge. So this can lead me up to this part of the ridge here. I might actually get some slightly higher ground, so I can even feel a little more official. And just follow this back to the other trail as I descend back to the car, or back to the main trail. Okay. This is actually not going downhill. Good. Good. Oh boy. Ay, ay, ay. Ooh. A little steeper here. All right. Let's keep following this up. Might take me to the backside of the rock. So, my stubbornness is paying off so far because I'm near some much higher ground over here that I believe the soil will be higher than the base of that boulder. So I might be able to scramble up a boulder over here and maybe have a near summit boulder scramble. Because this use trail I found branching off, that might actually be the summit boulder there. That might be the summit boulder, I'm not sure. I thought, well, that one looks higher. But I see a little protuberance from the top of that one. And it looks like people call the chicken head, which people use to lasso ropes to climb it. But I don't know. The one back there looks bigger and higher. That's pretty close. But look at how high the ground is over here. I might be able to get close to matching the elevation without a scary class 5 rock climb. So, yeah. And there's still some hill to climb coming up this way. This is good. This is very good. I don't know how many people go this far, but I sure heck trying to get to the highest elevation I can possibly get to with my skill level here on North Iron Mountain. Yeah. Maybe I can find a way to scramble up one of these boulders here. Let me see. Because the soil's higher here than the base. But obviously the rock is so tall, it reaches above. So I'm looking for the soil summit, I guess. Let me just work my way around here a little bit. Could either climb that one, or that one looks less appetizing. But yeah, I am almost level with the elevation of that boulder. without doing more than a couple of small class 2 scrambles along the trail. So I'm basically just about to reach the high point of North Iron Mountain on the soil, not including trees and rocks. I think this is the highest patch of soil here on North Iron Mountain. Right over here. Oh, sorry, Mr. Chemise. A little bit of a way to get up here. So, whereas that, I wonder which one of these boulders is higher. I'm trying to figure out which one is which. But oh, I might be able to get up here in this small crack. Follow this class 3 crack to get to the top, or at least to the high part. Okay. All right. I'm calling this close enough for me. Woo! I think I might go scramble up those other boulders too. So I just use this crack here to get me up. Getting down this is going to be a pain in the butt. And ain't no way I'm going down that way. Just a weird class 3 crack. Kind of got my ankles at a weird angle. Boy, this is one of the highest points here. So I did find a way to scramble up to some higher ground, close to the elevation of the actual 2,703 foot pinnacle. So let me get a picture of this. All right, so yeah, there's a small rock duck up here at the base, and that top of that rock there is a small rock duck. Let's see. What would be a good way to get up this one? That's a pretty easy one so far. Oh, I might be able to follow this around the side. Oh, this is an easy one. Well, it's a much easier one. I'm almost level with that class 5 boulder. So, I'm going to consider this North Iron Mountain. Very close to the elevation of those boulders there. Very close. This is a pretty easy walk to get up here. Thought it was going to be a little tougher. Thought I was going to have to do some class 3, but I was able to propel myself up here. So I was on the middle part of that one. I was almost going to do that one, but here I am on top of this one. Yeah. Maybe I can scramble to one of those too, maybe. Pretty cool. So you're gonna keep seeing a couple pictures of me flipping up the number 2, as if, even though it's doing it multiple times, I'm trying to do the elevation gain required to get to the high point without actually doing that scary class 5 rock climb that I'm not prepared to do. So I think I might be able to climb those boulders too, possibly, or at least part way up those. But yeah, elevation wise, I'm not that far. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see if I can amble along the ridge a little bit and see if I can find an access point to get over there. Okay, now I'm approaching the base of this rock pile here. Time to start getting a little aware about poison oak. Let's see if I can make it up this one. Oh, I think I might be able to. Just keep an eye out for poison oak while I do this. Let me see what this entails. I brought some gloves with me I can use to climb today, so I end up scraping my hands on everything. Let me see here. It's a nice little bushwhack here, though. Let's see. Any of these look doable for my skill level, that is. Look around a little bit and see. That one's higher. That one probably requires a little more skill level than I'm really capable of right now. Okay, here's another crack. Use this crack to get up here. Just use this. Oh, if I can get my feet out of there to get up here. Oh boy, my shoe's stuck. On my level getting up here. Yeah. I was on that one earlier. Wow. Looks like if I wanted to find an alternative way up this, maybe. I don't know. Let me see. Walk around here a little bit. See. Looks possible. Yeah. Very good views up here. So this is the high point of the ridge, soil-wise, like the dirt. The high point's right over there. Actually, a little bit beyond that. So at least I got to the high point of the soil. Just the scrambling to get up to North Iron is beyond my scope and ability level. So yeah, I'm not doing that. Okay, let's see if I can wobble my way around this. Not too bad. Just got to be a little careful. Some high angle dirt right there. If I could just get down here. Alright. Looks like a wood rat nest or something. That looks like it's deliberately placed there by an animal, so I'm not going to go disturb its habitat. Otherwise, I would do a class 3 chimney or whatever this is to get up there. But it looks like that was placed there by an animal, so I don't want to disturb its habitat. Otherwise, yeah, this would be probably a pretty stiff but doable class 3 crack right there. This was a little awkward because of the angle, but if I could do it, and I don't have any real rock climbing experience, pretty sure anybody else could do it. Let me see what's over here. Wow, yeah, it's pretty cool. Even a small coast live oak tree right here. This looks like this would be a high class 3 and low class 4 ledge on this side. Yeah, because I don't see a lot of good footholds. Class 3, you're supposed to have at least halfway decent footholds for it to classify as class 3. Class 4 is where it's a lot sketchier. And a lot of people will rope as opposed to scramble that. It's beautiful here though. Look at this. I got a scrub oak here. Yeah. Yeah, that would probably be a class 4 right there. Maybe higher up would be class 3, but down at the bottom it looks like class 4, and that's way beyond my skill level. Yeah, see, footholds are pretty. Yeah, you would literally have to hug this rock and thrash with the manzanita to get up through here. I'm trying to challenge myself a little bit more, but I'd have to probably gain a little bit better upper body strength before considering to do anything of that sort, to be honest with you. All right, I'm gonna start heading down now. I think I spent enough time up here and stuff. I think it's probably time for me to start heading back. I got to get back to the use trail, to the ridgeline use trail. Then I got to get back to the actual use trail heading towards Table Rock. So I do have a little navigation I'm going to have to go through to get me there. So I'm going to go descend back, try to find the use trail that leads along the side just underneath the ridge line. Alright, so at least I got some pretty good coverage of the summit area for those curious about North Iron Mountain. If you want to do the full Monty, which means doing a class 5 rock climb, unfortunately I can't help you there because I really don't have experience in that. So now what I need to do is just navigate my way back to the use trail that skirts the side of this and work my way back to a small outcropping just underneath the actual class 5 summit boulder. So I'm going to work my way around this and I'll catch up with you. So after a little minor bushwhacking and waiting, found myself back, I believe, on the use trail. Let's see, should pass. Let's see, I think I found it. Let me see. No, I think I went this way. I gotta head towards that rock outcropping there. That's where I should be able to join the main use trail, or at least the use trail I ascended to start my descent back towards the Ellie Lane Trail. It's been a nice little adventure up here. I didn't just do a quick little near summit tag. I just felt like I'd explore some of these boulders here to see how close in elevation I can actually get to being close to being level with the pinnacle on North Iron Mountain. And I came pretty close. Pretty close. So, but if just doing the elevation gain straight up from the trailhead to the top of that pinnacle, I've already surpassed the elevation gain required for that. But I didn't surpass the technical skill required to get to the actual highest point. But I did do more than the elevation gain would require for me to get up there had I the skills to actually get to the top. So, because I did explore the ridgeline a little bit, as you could tell, I did explore the ridge a little bit. And I'm glad I did, because at least I feel like I can make it semi-official, because I did extra work to offset the lack of class 5 rock climbing required to get up to the top. So I feel that I've done that pretty well. And now I'm going to start descending towards the other use trail. Alright, so back at the base of the main summit boulder, just looking for the use trail. Should be near where that rock is there. Should see some rusty colored soil angling steeply downhill. That's where I should be in my descent. Should be right around here, actually. So now, just got to keep my eye out for backward facing arrows. Okay. Yep. So that's the actual summit boulder there. I did climb up a couple of other rocks so I did make the elevation gain required. Yeah, I had to put in another memory card. Looks like this is going to be a long video. Ay. So I'll have to shorten my clips a little bit before this becomes another 3-hour video. I did film a lot on this hike. I had to make a documentary. You know, I like to make documentary hikes. So now we're starting to go down on the use trail. Should start running into those arrows pretty soon. I'm pretty sure I should start seeing those pretty soon. There are a lot of, or at least a few, maybe even a lot of use trails in this area. So it might get confusing sometimes. This seems to be the way I came up. I'll have to see if I see any arrows. As long as it meets down with the trail, I'm good. We'll see how this goes. Not seeing any arrows yet, but we'll see. This is a use trail, and it's heading down towards the saddle, so I'm not too concerned. Yep, there's an arrow right there in the center, so this must be the same use trail. All right, down I go. I'm probably going to cut back on my filming as much because this is already a long enough video. Oh, I'm a nice little chunk of the way down from this. Wow, incredible. This is an incredible hike. You'll definitely get a challenge out of it. I wouldn't rate it anything harder than moderate. Kind of in between the lower and middle end of moderate. So it's challenging terrain here. I mean, you got some steep slopes, some rocks to scramble, but anybody with at least some level of hiking fitness and experience should be able to do this. I'm talking about the fitness level required, meaning the energy you use from your body. I'm not talking about the navigational aspect. The navigational aspect really didn't give me too much of a problem. It was a little hairy up towards the top of the ridge, but you do have arrows pointing you where to go. So for me, navigation was really not a huge issue on this hike, except along the ridge line where there are no real markers up there. But yeah, I'm still finding arrows as I descend my way down. I'm significantly under Mount Ellie, so I should be getting close to the elevation of Table Rock fairly soon. I'm just taking my time, not rushing it, because it does get a little slippery, especially on the descent. I've had a couple of slightly hairy moments where I had to regain my balance, but you will definitely want to have some experience in Class 2 for this hike, A. And you will want to have navigational expertise as well. So for, like I said, the physical difficulties in the moderate category, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Navigation will present a moderate challenge because there are some hairy spots that might not be as obvious. But if you come up from the back right corner from Table Rock, if you're hiking in from Ellie Lane, the back right corner of the Table Rock slab should be able to handle it. Like I said, I wouldn't go super obsessively reliant on the arrows, but they do help a lot. Like I said, you definitely also want to have a little bit of sense of navigation. So if you have some basic cross-country hiking skills. If you have at least the basic to intermediate level, you should be totally fine on this hike, and you'll probably end up finding it a pleasant challenge. Steep inclines, some rocks to scramble and some rocks to hop. But it's a very pleasant hike too, if you take time to enjoy it. Let's see. All right. Yeah, so this is where we got to pay attention a little bit. There are some areas where you do have to look around, but once you find it, you're pretty golden. Usually, just mostly happens where there are rocks and boulders. That's where you have to really be vigilant. Like I said, you want to have you want to at least have some level of navigation ability before attempting this hike. But if you have some cross-country experience, you should be able to handle this. And like I said, the difficulty level, physical difficulty, is between low and middle end of moderate. And the way I rate hikes is based on a lot of the hikes like John Robinson, author of books like Angeles, Trails of the Angeles, and San Bernardino Mountain Trails, and Jerry Shadd's A Foot in the Field Guides. You have the ratings of easy, moderate, moderately strenuous, and strenuous. And then you have very strenuous for the extremely arduous hikes. So, in this hike, this is definitely in the moderate category, because there is a little bit of level of difficulty. But it's between, I would say, probably between the lower and middle end of moderate, just because there's a decent elevation gain from Ellie Lane. If you're doing Mount Ellie, it'll put it up in the middle part of moderate. If you're doing just North Iron Mountain by itself, it's a little bit lower. But so it'd be almost halfway between the bottom of moderate and the bottom of moderately strenuous. So it's in the lower to middle part of moderate. So just keep that in mind. That's at least the rating I have for it. Other people have other experiences, but me, I'm not the most physically fit person in the world. I am overweight. But I also have quite a bit of hiking experience. So I definitely have that going for me as I do these hikes. There's a small arrow there, very faint. But yeah, people with some navigational ability, at least a bit of it, A, and B, basic scrambling skills should be fine on this hike. Here's another arrow right here. Actually, yeah, I think I started up this one here. I actually started up this way, so I kind of veered off a little bit. I think I started up this way, but I met up with it. So I came down to a slightly different area, but yeah. I'm at Table Rock right now, the Table Rock area. I would have just gone up that way, but I went up just about 10 feet over that way and still had no problems. So yeah, back at Table Rock. Means I should be back at the actual maintained trail for the first time in a while. Yeah, well, I was up there. I look from up here. That's where the summit boulder is, right there. That is actually the highest rock, right up there. From here, it doesn't look that far. That's almost 500 feet from here. So appearances are deceiving. It will take you some effort to get up there. Close to about 500 feet of elevation gain almost. At least 400 to 400, at least 450, I think it's about 450-ish. Because we're somewhere between 22 and 2300 feet elevation over here. So, yeah. So you definitely got some work to do, but it's totally doable. All right, away I go down. All right, so here I am back at that multi-rosette yucca that I remember from earlier. Now I'm getting back to the trail area. I gotta remember which one of these heads me back where I'm supposed to be going. Okay, so this is back to Ellie Lane. Right here. Guessing that was the arrow to Table Rock. You just go down there, turn left at that next junction, and you're good. All right, so I'm gonna go follow this. Oh, I think I came from a slightly different area. Oh, this is nice. Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah, because I didn't pass through this on the way to Table Rock. I think this just meets up. Wow, look at this. Huh. We got Table Rock and picnic table. All right, so some random picnic table over here. I guess the trail's over there. Yeah, I came up the other side. Let me see if I should go this way. Maybe I should just go back the way I came. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Yeah, it's just some nice little, little random picnic table. Interesting. Wow, yeah, here's a nice little coast live oak right here. Quercus agrifolia, variety agrifolia. Used to be a nice older tree here back in the day. I'll just go back this way because there's another trail going that way. That's the way I came because I did not go through this area here. This just goes to a picnic table. On the other side, I'm not sure if there's a trail where that side of that rock and the bushes are located. So I'm just going to go this way, like the way I came. Again, Table Rock. I think this is the way I came before. So let's see. Oh well, follow this and find out. Actually, I think this leads over towards the picnic table. I think. Just explore it for a minute, just for the heck of it. This might actually lead over towards where the picnic table is. Let's see if it's around the side here. It might. Let me see. It's just a little short detour. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there was a pathway to get through here. Okay, I wasn't sure. Okay. Pretty interesting. Still getting back to where I wanted to go. So I'm just going to keep following this back down. Okay. Back down I go. Away I go. See you on the next clip. So I'm going along this. Notice that some of these scrub oaks are going semi-deciduous. So we're actually getting a little fall color here. Yeah, so these scrub oaks are going to be semi-deciduous, it looks like. So we actually got a little touch of fall color. If you're expecting those scarlets and oranges of New England, not going to happen, but still really cool to see, regardless. There's Mount Ellie. I can actually see the use trail going up that way a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, North Iron Mountain was definitely a little more challenging to get up to the top of that one. Definitely worth it though, I'll tell you. Even though I didn't climb to the actual top of the summit boulder, I did amble up a couple of small boulders along the way. so I could at least get the elevation gain experience. Because, like I said, there's no way I'm doing that technical class 5. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna keep on edging my way down this trail. See you along the way if I find any more crazy botany or anything else pops up. Since it's not as misty as it was earlier because of the raising of the cloud deck, I'm starting to get some views of stuff I didn't see earlier. I can see all the way out by Soledad Mountain by La Jolla. Wow, yeah. Getting some pretty awesome views from here. Sorry about that. So yeah, way on the horizon is Soledad Mountain by La Jolla and University City. And I can see the buildings from University Town Center. Right off there looking west-southwest. And then I can see the ridge line of the Van Dam Ridge. That's the Van Dam Ridge line. North Van Dam Peak, Peak 1080. Hike I did back in February. And then, more to the west, Black Mountain is the one on the horizon. That's Black Mountain in Rancho Penasquitos. And then the one below it, slightly down and to the right, that's Twin Peaks in Poway, a hike I did 3 weeks ago. Three Thursdays ago. So yeah. Yeah, I get some good views. And when I was up on North Iron Mountain, there were a lot of rocks and bushes and trees in the area, so I had to I couldn't really do a big 360 on top. But if I find views on the way down, I sure as heck will point them out, because they are definitely worth noting. So yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised that I could see Soledad, but I wasn't thinking about it, and I was looking over there and I saw it looked like Soledad. And it's pretty good for the marine layer overcast to have the visibility all the way out that way. On a clear day, that should be no challenge at all to see. No challenge. And of course, Van Dam Ridge off in the background, Black Mountain. I mean, you can see North Iron Mountain and the other Poway Range summits quite clearly from those hills as well and peaks. But it's just nice to finally get a more open view of them now, as the cloud layer has lifted and the mist has receded upwards. So we're not quite as socked in, even though it's pretty much, I'd say, about 98% overcast right now. Beautiful. North Iron Mountain, what a beautiful mountain that is. I knew it was going to be awesome. I just knew going up there was going to be pretty awesome, and did not disappoint. Did not disappoint. Mount Ellie, same thing. Mount Ellie did not disappoint in the least. Very beautiful hike getting up there. I've only seen a couple other people the entire time I've been here, and that was just 2 ladies hanging out at Table Rock as I was getting ready to go up to North Iron. The second time I was at the Table Rock area. It's when I started. I actually saw the only 2 people I've seen all day. And I only see one other car at the trailhead. I can see the trailhead way down there. Right over there where my finger's pointing, I can see my Jeep. It's on the left side of the parking lot from up here. So yeah, now I know how to point out Twin Peaks. So when I hiked Twin Peaks, I couldn't tell you what the shape of it would look like because there was no visibility. I couldn't tell you what the summit looked like, because the summit was in the clouds. But when I was up on Goat Peak, I kind of pointed out what I thought was it. What I thought was Twin Peaks when I was on Goat Peak last Thursday, and went and looked on Google Earth to try to confirm the line of sight from Goat Peak, and I confirmed that it was Twin Peaks and Poway. That's another very awesome hike. That one's got a little bit of a challenge to it too. I'd say at the low end of moderate. Definitely a little bit easier than this because I did a dual ridge climb. I climbed up to the top of that and to the top of the ridge there on North Iron Mountain. A rock arrow. That's cool. But yeah. Yeah, Poway definitely got a lot of great hiking venues. So, if it's not really hot out, definitely come out to Poway, find a trail and hike to a peak or something. This is pretty insane. All right, time to work my way down this and see you on the next updates. So what kind of wildlife did I see today? Well, thus far, I've seen some hawks, some crows and ravens, and a couple of western fence lizards. Not going to be seeing a lot of herps unless the sun comes out. Did see a couple of small western fence lizards. I expect I would probably see granite spiny lizards here, though. I expect I would, at least. I would hope so. Granite spiny lizards would probably be likely on the rock outcrops. Beautiful. All right. Catch you on the next clip. See what else I find. Alright, so still working my way down. I was up over at that saddle. North Iron up there. And another sugar bush, Rus ovata. This time it's got fruit on it. Look at those beautiful droops. Rus ovata. Very similar looking to lemonade berry, huh? Rus integrifolia. Well, sugar bush, aka sugar sumac, is related very closely to Rus integrifolia, the lemonade berry, aka lemonade sumac. So much that these hybridize sometimes quite frequently. Now, I haven't seen any lemonade berry in this area, but if you go on the other side of 67 and climb up the peaks over that way, you will find both sugar bush and lemonade berry. And you'll find hybrids. Actually, I found more hybrids than I did sugar bush. There's quite a bit of lemonade berry, but between hybrid sumacs, Rus ovata / integrifolia, versus regular sugar bushes, there's a lot more hybrids there. Oh, California scrub jay, Aphelocoma californica obscura. If I could see it. I don't think so. Oh well. Yeah, it's off in the chaparral, so I'm not going to be able to see it. I'm actually starting to see more people on the trail now. I've actually come across 3 people in the last 5 minutes. I was hoping to get a visual on that California scrub jay. Our subspecies is obscura. The ones from Southern California down into Baja. Subspecies obscura. And a common name is often called Belding's scrub jay, even though it doesn't have the Latinized Belding-y at the end of it like you would expect. But I just call it California scrub jay. And I just put out the trinomial Aphelocoma californica obscura, so as to not confuse too many people. But yeah, Mount Ellie, that was my first peak of the day. Good old North Iron Mountain. Now, I didn't summit the highest boulder, so it's debatable whether you can consider what I did actually summiting, but I did scramble, like I said, I did scramble up a couple other boulders and found the highest point of dirt, highest point of the soil. So I did find the high point where the soil is. So I'm pretty happy about that. I don't have class 5 experience. But, so yep, North Iron Mountain, definitely a worthy endeavor. Whether you have the rock climbing ability or not, at least get up to the ridge and enjoy it. I passed through this lush area of chaparral. It's just so tall and stately. Occasionally pockmarked with an actual tree, coast live oak. All right, well, that's enough yapping. More ambling downward, and I'll see you down. So I've been hiking along this, and I saw a sign that says Ellie Lane Trail, 0.5 miles. I saw signs for it up by near the Table Rock area. So I'm wondering if this is supposed to be part of the Wild Horse Trail. I wonder. I mean, I didn't turn on any junctions. One junction I did see early on coming up from the trailhead was a sign pointing towards this way for the Wild Horse Trail. But I just assumed this was the Ellie Lane Trail, but I saw a sign that says Ellie Lane Trail, 0.5 miles. So I was kind of confused as to what the name of this trail actually is that I'm hiking right now. Is this the Wild Horse Trail? Does it make an L-shaped turn over closer to the trailhead area? I don't know. Does the Ellie Lane Trail continue somewhere in there before it reaches up towards Table Rock? I don't know. Because when you leave the parking lot, it clearly says Ellie Lane Trail. So I'm a little curious about whether I'm actually still on that, or did it veer off and this became the Wild Horse Trail? Because I know there's a Wild Horse Trail here too. A little confused. But that should be of relatively little importance to discerning the directions of this hike. If you follow my hiking map, and the route to get to Table Rock is pretty self-explanatory. Just keep on this trail, keep on the trail. Don't take any wide junctions that veer off here or veer off there. Don't do any of that. Just head up towards that saddle. Just follow the trail towards that saddle. You should be golden. Like I said, I don't know if the trail changed names as it went through that junction. It's just a little bit of semantics, a little confusing semantics that kind of made me think what's going on with the names of the trails. But as long as you follow, you should just continue on this trail straight from Ellie Lane's parking area. You should be fine. Just keep going uphill towards that saddle, and you'll be golden. And then you just go up towards just branch off, find Table Rock. If you want to go up to North Iron Mountain, go to the back of the Table Rock area where the big slab is. Look at the arrow, start walking up the trail and follow the arrows to the ridge line if you're trying to do North Iron Mountain, and you'll be golden. To Mount Ellie, take the trail past the saddle a little bit and start looking for a use trail on your right, a little bit past the saddle, a little bit past Table Rock, and you'll be golden there too. You might have to look for it a little bit more carefully, but you should be able to find it, and my map should be able to reflect a pretty good detail of that route. Alright, enough yammering. There's that pond again. I don't know the name of it, but I don't know if I don't know if the trail goes by that, but I think it was fenced off by private property. I don't know. I'll have to keep an eye on that. They're almost back at civilization. There's a house right there. Right at the base, the foot of North Iron Mountain. Imagine having a house at the foot of North Iron Mountain. How cool would that be? All right. See you down the way for more updates. Oh, found me a nice big Rus ovada. Right there. Nice big sugar bush or sugar sumac. And now that I'm coming down, we're starting to lose a chaparral and turn more into coastal sage scrub. Getting the whiff of California sagebrush right now, and it's perfuming the air, the humid air right now. But yeah, that's a nice sized Rus ovada. And yeah, we still got more of these tall Ceanothus crassifolius variety crassifolius. Yeah, this is an absolutely stunning hike. Every aspect of this hike is stunning. So right now I'm kind of just gently going downhill after a pretty steep descent. Started going uphill a little bit. I think I do have a small uphill section coming up before I get back. Because I remember going downhill a short spell. But that won't be very long and it won't be very bad. But now we're going downhill very gently and it feels a lot better. Yeah, legs are starting to feel kind of jello-ish, jello-like. I mean, this is the second week in a row I've done a pretty rigorous up and down. Very beautiful out here, though. All right. Keep on going back toward the car. There's another faded sign. It says Ellie Lane Trail. Okay, here's private property here. Huh. Maybe I was on the Wild Horse Trail. I don't remember going up this way. I remember going up this way. Yeah, here's another trail right here, actually. So I might have been on the Wild Horse Trail. So here's another trail right here. It says Ellie Lane Trail pointing up this way. That's interesting. So I came up from this way. So I was on the Wild Horse Trail. Okay. So I guess, yeah, see? This is the Wild Horse Trail. Wait a minute. I might be tripping. I think I gotta think about this for a minute. Did I come up this way? Did I? Interesting. I'm gonna have to go climb up this. I think this is the uphill section. I think I'm tripping. So I can see, yeah, so the sign for the Wild Horse Trail was going down that way. So I'll look to see if I see my footprints. I do remember a small downhill section. I'm guessing this is it here. See if I see my footprints in the soil. Can't really see them right now. Yeah, I think this is the way I came. Got a little tripped up there. That was the only junction there. It's making a hard left. Yeah, I see my footprints. So yeah, that was the only junction you'll need to pay attention to early on. But, like I said, if it starts heading away from that saddle, going downhill away from the saddle, going the wrong way. If you're heading towards that saddle, you're going the right way. But let's just keep it at that. So the Wild Horse Trail goes down there. I wonder where it comes out. I would like to explore that one day. See if it goes. It might go near that pond down there, or that reservoir. If it does, that'd be really cool. Here's that small uphill section I have on the way back. It starts off steep when you're coming back, but mellows out. It's not really that bad. Going steeply downhill for that long amount of time might actually feel kind of good. Either going level or even slightly uphill. Give your knees a break. But should be cresting this pretty soon. And I should be back at the trailhead very soon. All right. Should be back in a few minutes, actually. Not that far. Yeah. I think that's peak 1820 right there, I believe. That's 2 peaks north of Goat Peak. I think that's peak 1820, I believe. If you saw my video from last week, you'll see me point that out immediately north of, or above peak 1770 when I did the viewfinder on Goat Peak. All right, see you back at the car. All right, so I'm getting really close back to the trailhead. Look at this very large foothill California buckwheat. This is a pretty nice thicket right here. Eriogonum fasciculatum variety foliolosum. It's a very, very nice, lush stand of foothill California buckwheat. So we're nearing the houses along the side of the trail. There's all the goats and you see some horses. Yeah, there's good old Mount Ellie. And there's North Iron Mountain over there. And that's where I saw the goats earlier. Try to be quiet and not disturb. Nice red ironbark eucalyptus. Eucalyptus sideroxylon. Very handsome species. It's always one of my favorite eucalyptus species. It has a distinct, most of them have their distinct camphor-like aroma. But the one on red ironbark is particularly awesome. So yeah, here's that African fern pine, Aphrocarpus gracilior from earlier. Those fleshy, droop-like cones. Yep, those are more related to cones than they are to fruit. These are the lily Nile lily. Right here, it looks like an agapanthus species, I think is what this is here. It's an ornamental. Here we are. Should be back at the car in a minute or two. The horses. Alright. Ooh, and here's a lemon scented gum. Corymbia citriodora. Got a couple lemon scented gums here. Oh, they smell so good. And Peruvian pepper tree. Skin is mole. Yeah, very beautiful hike. Totally recommend. The Ellie Lane Trail is a good alternative, especially with the Iron Mountain Trail. So if you've done the Iron Mountain Trail already, the regular Iron Mountain Trailhead on the corner of Poway Road and 67. It's definitely a good alternative for a second excursion into this range. All right, car's just up ahead. See you at the end of this. Well, this is gonna be about it for this. I'm back here at Ellie Lane staging area, right here on 67. Those this is gonna do it for me, because I'm back at the car. That's a pretty long video. I do apologize in advance, but there's a lot to see when you're climbing up to those peaks. So if you stuck it out this far, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. Even if you didn't, thanks for watching whatever portion of this video you watched or whatever you can stand to watch. But yeah, North Iron Mountain, Mount Ellie. Great hike, great hike. Definitely highly recommended. Want to have a little experience if you want to do the use trails and scrambles up to the peaks. You will want to have some experience there. But other than that, not bad. Thanks for watching. See you on my next adventure.